Today we're having a look at the selection tools in Stitch Mastery. The first tool that will be active when you start using Stitch Mastery is the arrow select tool, and that works as a normal cursor. You click to select individual cells, you can click to select rows or columns, you can click to select the title, and of course the key. And a note on selecting charts, you always need to click in the corner, not on top of a row or column label. So to select a chart, clicking clear of those numbers, and the same with the key, clicking somewhere within the boundary but not over any key text itself, you'll select the key. You also have the marquee select tool, and you click and drag to draw an outline around the stitches you want to select, release, and your stitches are greyed to show they have been selected. But we also have the selection menu here just to the left of the zoom menu, and if you click the drop down arrow you'll see there are a few different options. So first of all we have select all charts. So however many charts you have in your Knit2 file, they'll all be selected, and this might be handy if you want to export these charts but not the key at the same time. You also have the option to select the key, which if we scroll over has been done. Then we have two options for selecting alternate rows, so either starting on the first row or the second. And this will apply to all of the charts if you haven't selected one initially. So I've chosen select alternate rows starting from the first row, and it's done that for all of the charts. But if you wanted to select the alternate rows in just one chart, select the chart first, and then again we can use this tool. So I've now selected the second rows, or my wrong side rows. And this could be useful if you want to do something to all of these rows at once. So for instance, you can use the fill mode tool to colour them all a particular colour, or to fill them with specific stitches. So if we activate the fill mode just here next to the font icon, and then I'm going to create a custom colour of a very light grey, and use fill mode to do that, to make my alternate rows a different colour to help with legibility. Or you could use the fill mode. So fill mode is still active. If I select the purl stitch with the fill mode on, then all of my alternate rows become purl rows. So we'll deactivate fill mode at the moment. The other options are all to do with selecting repeats. So first of all, if I deselect this chart, we can see from the borders that I only have a repeat in one chart, but if you had repeats in various charts and you haven't selected a single chart, you can select all of the repeats in your Knit2 file. Because I only have a repeat in the first chart, then the repeat there has been selected. You can also choose to select all repeats in a selection. So that would work, for instance, if we had repeats in this chart as well as this one. If I have selected the chart first, then selecting all repeats in the selection will activate only the repeats in this selection and not in this chart. But it also works if, for instance, I had a number of stitches selected, so they're grey for selection, and then choose select all repeats. And similarly, if I have a row selected, I can select the repeat within that selection, and that works for multiple rows too. Finally, if you have a single stitch selected, you can use the select containing repeats of selected stitches or repeats. So that's picked up the whole repeat in that row. And this one works the same if, for instance, I have a partial amount of a repeat already selected. So I haven't got the full repeat here selected, but I have got some of the stitches that are contained within a repeat. And because those stitches are selected, I can then use this option to select the repeats that those stitches fall within. And this can also be used if you had repeats within repeats. So perhaps if you've used a repeat for a stitch pattern repeat, but you also have different sizes graded within the chart, you can use these tools to select the specific individual repeats of the pattern stitch if you wish.